Okay, we're gonna try this again. It looks like my internet connection is kind of funky this morning. I only have one bar on my cell phone from my house. Maybe it's because of the fabulous show that we had at the sunrise this morning and the eclipse, and who knows. But I switched to the more powerful system in my house, and hopefully Wi-Fi will keep us going. I'm just gonna find us and get logged on and get this shared over into our creative group. If you're not a member of Creating with Celine, please let me know. We meet every Monday night, and we craft and we gather and we make pretty things and inspire each other, which is always fun. Let's see, it's a little dark in here. It is rainy and yeah. All right, so group. And hopefully people will find me. You guys are probably surprised to see me so early. I have a boatload of videos to make today, and my daughter Alexis needs me to drive out to her to drop her some school supplies, so including her paper trimmer. Go figure. Don't travel without your paper trimmer. That's advice from Mom today. So, hello, now that we're all here and gathered, my name is Celine and I work here. And I've been meaning to get you a video all week, and it was club week and it was crazy, but I have been making cards like a crazy person. I posted a couple of cards in preview, and I had a few of you asking me for videos on my fancy gate, pop, and lock card. This is a preview of a class that I have coming up using the tool bundle card for the guys. And it's cool because even if you don't have the stamp set, you'd be able to make it work. Or if you have the stamp set and you don't have a dad, you can change this out to a thank you. Aren't the buttons on the tool chest fun? So this is kind of an advanced class, and there's only going to be 22 of them. It includes a full pack of the Designer Series paper. It includes these matte dots. It includes a thing of twine, 5 different colors of twine, shipping to your door for $45. And like I said, there's only going to be 22 of them. So those are going to go out in email, and if you're not part of my email list, you might want to be, so you can see all the things that I offer for my friends and customers. Okay, so that being said, you can always message me. This is the mechanism that I want to show you on one of my cards, the slide, pop, and lock. Isn't it cool? So this card, oh sorry, I know, is locked into place. You can't open the front unless you slide it off. I think if I were sending it to a guy, I might put a Post-it note on the front to say slide. Just saying, because they might not know, and they might want to rip the card apart, and it's really fun to play with once you know how it works. So I'm going to show that this morning, and here's the preview. Oh, actually, I'll flip the camera before I show you a preview of the rest of it. How's that? I made some cards yesterday using the Faith Collection bundle, and I got some questions again on how did you do that. So let's flip the camera and we'll get moving. Okay. You can tell I have my glass mat this morning. That's because I want to do a little bit of sponging. I just want to check the camera and see where I'm at before I get going here. And I apologize for the light there. Maybe we can put a piece of paper there to combat that. That's the lights in my studio reflecting off the beautiful glass mat. These glass mats are now available for sale for everybody. And it's a huge help when you're doing something like I'm doing this morning. So I made a card yesterday. It's already gone in the mail to my mom. And I had some questions on what I did to make it so pretty. This is using the Faith Collection bundle. And the dies are here. And the first one I cut out, it took a long time for me to get the dies out of the die. So what I did going through this morning is I took a dryer sheet, and I buy the unscented ones, and I just rub the die with the dryer sheet before I run it through. And then it came out like this. So I haven't played with it, but a couple pieces popped right out in my hand. So that's a good sign that they'll pop out much easier after hitting it with a dryer sheet, and this is much easier. If you don't have, the Take Your Pick tool actually has a brush that you can buy that's an attachment. And of course, it's all the way on the other side of the room, so I'm just going to use my fingernails because this is coming out pretty easy. But if you have the brush, it's easier again. So, and like I said, it's a little fussy, even though but the dryer sheet really helped because it was, last night I was poking this out with a pin. So that's a great tip for you. Okay, so I'll put that there so you guys can see it better. And then it also comes with a die for the greenery, and it comes with this die, and basically everything in the set. It's got some flowers. And then I stamped this in Memento Black. And then I ran it through the Big Shot, or the Cut and Emboss, good morning, with the Fern 3D folder, which is still current. I was so excited to see that it was current. If you're here, please leave me a comment because I see that you're watching and maybe it's too early to speak. I can relate, so just let me know that you're here and watching because I'm not seeing your comments yet. And if it means I talk to myself, I understand. Okay, so I'm gonna, so I ran this through, and this is plate 4. So whenever you're doing a 3D folder, plate 4 and just the base mat, you don't need any extra pieces, and you roll it through and it comes out like that. So I added some of this, and we've been playing with this all week in club. By the way, if you're in Stamp Club, your packets went out yesterday. You're on the video list for today. I'll be doing the video for this, for club, and for the Tool Time class that I just designed. And like I said, that's just going to be a quick one. It is 5 cards. There's some fun folds. There's some techniques. It is an advanced class. You'd need a paper trimmer. You'll be cutting your own designer paper. There's a few things that you'll be cutting, and actually I'm going to show you one of them here, but I'm going to use something different so you can see how it works. Try before you buy, right? So I just tied that off. This ribbon is so nice, and even people in class that were saying that they have trouble tying ribbon loved this ribbon. So it's just so easy and flowy to tie. Hey Chris, good to see you, my friend. Oh, so this is right up your alley for work. Chris works at a church rectory, and I think that having cards like these on hand there would be amazing. Okay, so I cut out 2 different crosses. I was going to say hearts. Isn't that funny? Heart in my head, right? And I need, just getting started and everything's already lost on my table. I'm going to ink this up in Memento Black. I stuck with the black. Originally, I had made one in brown because I liked the brown and green together. But I wanted to bring the black element back in for the bow because the black gingham. So I like to repeat my colors whenever possible. And I'm just going to stamp this right on the die cut. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we cut this other piece to go on top. So here it is. Oh, and look, I missed a spot. Still popping those out. That's funny. And then I need a little bit of liquid glue here. Whoops. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Judy. Oh, so all my club members are jumping on. Just so you know, the packets to go went out yesterday, and I'll be doing the video when I get back. I have to run out to see Alexis, who needs some stuff for school, and laundry pods, you know. It's a good reason to meet my girl for breakfast halfway. Oh, I'm neglecting my push pin. So my glue is being a little funny. I don't know if you ever get that problem. I'm going to grab a push pin. I usually keep one in my bucket, but you never know after the week, you know. So I'll just pick one, and then I'll add it back to my tool caddy so that I don't have that happen again. Only when you're on camera, you have to get up 100 times, right? Goodness. Oh, I should put my glasses on. Much better. Okay, so I put that right in, and then hopefully I can get the, there's the bugger. So you pull out the glue boogers, and then hopefully, yeah, we look like we're going now. And then I don't like to do it over my project just in case the glue comes flying. So I'm just gonna put this on as flat as I can to get it. Now, another thing you could do with this is adhesive sheets, but I was afraid with the detail on this stamp, on the die, that I wouldn't get them out with the adhesive there too, because I had trouble just by itself. So I thought a little bit of liquid glue would go a long way. Liquid goo! I have no words in the morning, apparently. Every time I misspeak, maybe I should have it in a sip of coffee. It sounds like a plan. If I use the wrong word, sip, sip. Okay, so that's the first one. All right. So now I'm going to set that aside to dry. I don't need him anymore. We've got our stamp, and we ran it through with the fern embossing folder. We've got our cross there, and he's kind of floating and needs a little help there. So I'm going to bring in this stamp from the bundle. This one also has a die that cuts it out, but I'm going to use it straight on the green paper, and I am addicted to these Arches dies. Like I said, I used it for the Manly card class. It's really cool. My husband is the king of dad jokes. You're the most awesome. If you didn't want to make a Father's Day card, in this set, there's also this little nut and bolt stamp that you can use instead of making the dad background. So you could use it for, even if you don't have a dad that you could send it to, like your son who's a good dad or somebody that you know that's a good dad. You could take these Father's Day, because there's 2 Father's Day cards, and you could make this one a thank you, and this one could just have nuts and bolts. And you could still send it to the most sawsome helper that you have, you know. Guy cards are hard to find, so I had 22 packs left over of that designer paper, and you can't buy it. So a full pack of 12 by 12 designer series paper comes with that class, and that'll be coming out hopefully later today. All right, so I'm gonna press and hold. Again, I'm on my glass mat, so I didn't bring my Stampin' mat in. Hopefully this comes out okay. Oh, thank you, God. That was perfect. Okay, so I got my glass mat, and the glass mat comes with this little chamois, and I wet it down this morning, so it's nice and pliable. It dries hard, but not like the, yeah. Well, let me show you what I have planned. I'm going to take my ink pad and touch my glass mat, and then I can use this to do my blending brush. And it's cool because usually you'd be sponging off on paper and kind of wasting ink. I'm not wasting a thing here because all the ink that I have is right here. So I can sponge off on my glass mat and then go to my project. So you come over, grab some ink, sponge off on your glass mat, and bring it in for the real thing. So I'm just gonna go around and give this garden green cardstock a little bit of depth. So we stamped that cross in garden green. I've seen this a lot in white. I've seen it a lot cut out. And to me, it looked like it was just kind of floating there. I really wanted the greenery to be kind of in a natural, I don't know, a natural state. So that's why I picked. And it's good to sponge off before you sponge on your cardstock. So I'm picking up the thick stuff, diffusing it. All the ink is still here. I can go back into this and pick it up and use that if I get to the end. Doesn't look like I'm gonna though. It looks like I made quite the mess with the ink pad. That's fine. And I can keep it as light or as dark as I want, you know, your preference. This card, out of the other cards that I have been designing, I've been using the Full of Life designer paper with this bundle, seems more rustic. So depending on the look you're going for. So I'm all set with the blending brush. And I'm gonna take and just clean off my glass mat. So I don't have to worry about it. This will rinse off perfect. but I can clean up my surface before I go again. And if my mat, my rag kind of dried, I was getting set up for class and didn't, but you get the idea. I can spray this with cleaning spray and just pick up the rest after, but looks pretty good, huh? Okay, so that's all clean. You can also use this to clean your blending brush after if you want, but I like to run mine under water and then it's good to go again. Like this one's bluish and greenish. I can use it for any of those tones, but it just takes the majority of the ink off your blending brush. Okay. So we'll bring this guy back in. He looks pretty good, huh? Hey, Jackie. Good to see you. Oh, I'm seeing I was thinking more coffee. Exactly. Oh, Christine said more coffee. I'm in. Cheers. I get Texas this morning. I know you probably can't see it from that angle. Texas. I have a bunch of these Starbucks mugs from all over the world, actually. A friend of mine and our club member, Deb, is traveling to Africa right now, and she asked me if I had a Starbucks mug from a place I've never heard of. And I was like, no. So she's looking. I love it. But I have a whole collection of them, and when people come for in-person classes and they decide that they want a coffee, everybody gets a different cup. So this morning I am Miss Texas. But we have them from everywhere. We were in Norway with Stampin' Up. I got one there. It's fun to have all the different ones. And then it's kind of like the wine charms, but it's a coffee charm. Okay, guys, you know that the number of dimensionals that you use on a project directly correlates to how much you love someone, right? So I had to make sure that I didn't have any sagginess going on, especially with the cross. So I just load them up. Oh yeah, Houston, Texas. That's funny. Yeah, I have Texas. And I think I was in Houston when I bought it. But all right, so I'm going to take this and put it over the hole. Now, I did line this up originally when I was designing the card and think about putting the crumb cake right on the green, and it looked okay. But this gives it a little bit more oomph. And it really does feel, I don't know, beautiful. How's that? So I will just attach this here. And oh gosh, I guess I didn't cut a card base. Well, I like I said, I already sent one of these to my mom, and she lives in a housing complex, and in the back of the complex, she can walk through her parking lot up the hill to church. So she spends a lot of time there. She has been a Eucharistic minister for a very long time and enjoys taking care of people. She brings back communion to people who can't get out of their house, and she's had some health things going on, so she's getting back to church a little bit, and she's loving it. And I wanted her to have a card she could give to somebody, so I put a note in it. Oh, I'm a little crooked there, huh? Let me try and get it closer to the middle. So she tries to get over there as much as she can, and she brings communion, and she did ashes on Ash Wednesday. I went and met up with her and walked with her back. All right. So pretty. Ugh. And I will put this on a card base, but for now we can just pretend because I got other stuff to show you. My goodness. So I was so excited to do this last night. Let me show you what happened. So I put this on the cut and emboss and cut it out, right? Easy enough. Oh, I guess I could show you where we're going. So here's that pop slide again. And this, boy, this needs some of those white dots. I will. So the locking mechanism looks like this. And then I took what was left over and made an insert just because I didn't want to waste a thing, but I thought it was pretty cool looking. Oh, it looks like I forgot to cut my cross this morning. Bummer. Well, we'll figure it out. All right, so this is the mechanism, and it's actually 4 die cuts. And when you put it back in, you just have to slide it over the front pieces and it slides down, right? Easy enough. We saw this at Onstage, and it was a demonstrator who has been a demo for less than a year. She's from Canada, and I'm so sorry I didn't catch her name. If you know who it is, go ahead and correct me, or I'll put it in the credits, but that's where I learned how to do this. So let's just show you the basics. And for this, I'm going to move my glass mat because I'm not doing anything crazy with ink just yet. Hey, Vic. Good to see you, my friend. It's strange for me to be here so early, but I have to go meet Alexis, so I wanted to get this done. So I'm going to start by taking an 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to score it first at 2 1/8 on both sides. So that's the gate part, right? The gate is the part that opens. Normally we would score it 4 1/4, but I had the conversation with my daughter this week. She's like, Mom, what's half of 4 1/4? I'm like, well, 2 1/8. Why? She's doing engineering things with that measurement this week and was arguing with a freshman. I was laughing. She kills me. Anyway, 2 1/8 on both sides. And then I'm going to cut a smidge off either end. So let's just pop this off for a second. Pop lock. Hang on. Whoa. So in order for a gate fold to have like this gap in the middle, we need to cut a little bit off either end. Okay. So I'm going to do that while I have it here, and then I'll be able to make 2 cards out of the one base. And what I'm calling a smidge on my paper cutter here, it's got like this, I don't know, gray border. I'm just going to move it out to the gray border and cut a smidge. Kind of a 1/16, but whatever. Close enough. Like I said, close enough for shift work. Just gonna turn the heat off so you can hear me. Okay, so I did that on both sides. So now I have these 2 little slivers I can get rid of. And then I'm gonna flip it and cut it in half at 5 1/2. Now you guys know our paper trimmer. This little piece slides out, but when it's closed, up against the fence is 6, and then over here is 5 1/2. So I'll come up against this fence and put it at 5 1/2 and cut this paper in half. So if you were to take the tool class, I have the paper cut like this, but I didn't do the 1/8 inch or the smidge. So you would have to do your own smidge in that class. I think it's stuff that's like that that's good to learn. I've been doing that more and more, and people have given me good feedback that they are learning how to do their own more. Ooh, that's a bigger smidge than I did on the last one, but that's okay. It's going to be good. And it's not sitting down really good, so I'll bring in a bone folder and just give it a little bit more encouragement to sit down. Sit, Ubu. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in, you can see I got my little cheat sheet here. I wrote them down last night because I knew I wouldn't remember this morning and I'd be working it out again live, you know. So I'm gonna cut a piece of basic white to 5 1/4, and I'll go to the top because that's where my measuring tool is. Up here. Measure twice, right? And then 1 7/8. So if I do this, I go to 3 3/4. I can go backwards. And then 1 7/8 for 2 pieces. And hopefully they're the same size when we finish. But if not, I'll take a sip of coffee and we'll cut another piece. Hey, Robin. Good to see you, my friend. Okay, so these are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. Okay, so now you can see my cheat for the DSP. And that's next. Okay. Here's the designer paper. This is so fun. I stamped right on the designer paper for that one. I think I put everything away, which is funny. Okay, so now I need 1 3/4 by 5 1/8. But before I do that, I'm going to take this 6-inch piece down to 5 1/8. So I want to take, let's see, I want to go to 5 1/2, but I want it to be like 5 1/2 plus a 1/16. I know that sounds weird, but that's like in between. It's like the one line after the 5 1/2, okay? Because there's 16 lines on my paper cutter. I posted it earlier this week if you have trouble with those kinds of measurements. And then when I flip this over and cut it at 5 1/8, I should, oh, no, maybe I didn't do it right. But that's okay, because it's still 5 1/8, and that's all we need. You know, take equal parts off both sides. And then I want to get it down to, I want 1 3/4 from either side. So this piece, this is just my inside anyway. So 1 3/4 on this side and 1 3/4 on this side. So I'm using every piece. Ooh, and look, that got kind of close on my, cutting it kind of close there, Celine. That could be, you know, the inside again. That's what I used for this. I just trimmed it down, cut the white out for the front of my card, and then layered it like that, just for something different on the inside. Okay. So I'll leave those measurements there for you. Okay. Now, I'm going to line this back up so I know what I'm doing. Okay, so that's kind of how my 6x6 paper came apart, and I used every bit of this one sheet, which is pretty cool. I started to do the same thing with a purple card last night, and it was after 10, and I decided I should go to bed. Isn't that pretty? But oh, ha ha, wah ha ha. That's okay. I got it off. Easily distracted this morning. Take a sip of coffee. Okay, so this is a little tight. And I'm glad I did it before, because if this side is tight, this side is too. I'm going to take another 1/8 of an inch off. So I thought I did 5 1/8. That's the problem. I did 5 1/4. We want 5 1/8. Good morning. See, I thought that piece at the top was too small. All right. But that's good. We figured it out before we messed it up. So 5 1/8. And now this piece should fit much better. It's almost better to line it up before you start to stick, but I got a little overzealous there, thinking I knew what I was doing. So the white is 5 1/4 inches tall, and the designer paper is 5 1/8. So it has a 1/16 of an inch border all the way around those two white panels. Now I'm going to bring back in my gatefold, and let's see what it looks like on here, because like I said, my smidge looks like more than a smidge this morning, but oh no, it's fine. Good. So that side fits. This side fits. Isn't it funny when you get to this spot, you got like butterfly wings? You could make a butterfly card with this so easy. And if you're in Stamp Club, you got this paper as part of the butterfly class last month. So you probably have some hanging around. I loved this one so much, I gave you guys extra paper. Usually you get half a pack, and then you get like embellishments. But this one I loved so much, I gave you the full pack of paper. And I just can't stop creating with it. Okay, so there's the lock, the background, right? And after that, like I said, I cut a white cross out of here for the front. And then I cut that piece down that we were playing with, and I didn't want to like not use it, so I put it on the inside of the card. If you think it's hokey, you can skip that. But I thought it was cute. Okay, so now I need 4 die cut pieces, and I used the arches. I can't stop using them, but you could use any shape that's the same on both sides. So think circles, squares, ovals. We have like retired things. You could use whatever you have. But here's how this works. I could try and take and score this in half, but this is 2 15/16. So I was not having it. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way and try and fold it in half. And it's really forgiving. So you can do it and not worry too much. If you did mess up and this piece isn't perfect looking, your last arch on top could be larger so that when you cover it, you can't see, but I haven't made one yet that's been a problem. So just fold the basic white, 2 of them, in half like this. I've made a few of these, and the first one I made, I didn't put enough adhesive. So I decided to come back and use my liquid glue so that I could make sure that I was getting all the way to the edges. And I'm using more liquid glue than I ever use on this. But it's still kind of thin. There's no big globs. It's all like, it's all over it, but it's flat. Okay, I'm not seeing it in the video playback, so I'm going to show you. It's not like goopy, but there's enough on there, right? Just a little extra for this one. And then I'm going to take it and put my 2 halves. So there's 1 half. And here's the other half. Okay, so while this is there, I'm just going to go again and put my top on. If I were stamping on this piece, the white, directly, I would obviously stamp first, but while it's right here, I can do this. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of let that set up. Actually, I can even just stick a punch on it or a stamp on it. All right, so now I need the inside, and this piece is looking pretty ripe. And I did have my dies on the table. Hopefully they're right here. If you see the cross dies, let me know. Because I've already lost something. Uh-oh. That means it's time to take a sip. So the first one I made, I did 3 3/4, and I'm noticing there's a ding on this white, so I'm gonna cut it the same, 3 3/4 by 5. So this is for the inside. And it even looks fine. It even looks cool like that, but I'm just gonna cut this down a little bit. And I'm eyeballing it. I got no measurements for you there. I mean, we could say make it 4 inches tall. And honestly, these would be cute on another little card. But I basically used everything. Yeah, Laurie, I have to go see Alexis. So I'm doing this video, and then I have 2 more to do when I get home. So I figured I would get a jump on it and start the first one. Anyway, maybe, because I'm not finding my dies. So, by the power of TV, we'll say that I ran this through the die cutter and I came up with just the white cross, which was here. Like, I don't know. You guys saw it. I opened with it. That's so funny. All right. Anyway, we cut the cross out. And then we made our 4 die mechanism here, okay? And then once we cut the cross out, I put Wink all over the cross. And then I stamped He Is Risen on my designer paper, flat like this, and then layered it on this mechanism. And then I used dimensionals to put my cross on. So when I was all done, this is what it looks like. So there's my 4 layers, and here's my mechanism, my locking mechanism. Now the new one is a little bit wider. I may have cut more than a smidge this time, but it works just as fine. It may actually give you a little more room when you go to lock it into place, but that's how the locking mechanism works. So even if you don't take my tool class, you'll be able to make these cards. I think they're really cool. So let me give you another look at that tool class, since we're talking about it. And that was the first card we made, and it still has to have a card base, but we were pretending. All right. Oh, you want to see another card I made? So you know that I'm doing a 30-day card challenge to send out cards. Well, I actually made a card for a friend who's in treatment last night, and this is going to be going out to her today. She's my day 5. I took the matte dots from this upcoming class. You get twine. Let's see. You get a lot. You get twine. There's a black one too. You get dots that are matte, and I added Wink Estella to the dots. I don't know if you're catching that. And I winked the cross, and I used the same die set again to cut this, and then I fell in love with the back side of this paper and thought that it would be a perfect pink base for that. So there's another card that I did with that set. Yeah, the arches, I think they're a must-have. Okay. Move that one out of the way. And then here we go. So those of you that are in club, oh, there's my crosses now that I kind of finished. Here's what I'm going to do the video later for your club when I get back from seeing Alexis. Here's my tool class. We make this really cool chest. You're going to need your paper trimmer if you sign up for it. Look at the buttons on the chest for the handles. And then the twine. You get a full pack of the Designer Series paper, so you'll have loads left over. If you own this bundle, it is carrying over to the new catalog. I'm so excited. My husband, who likes dad jokes, was smitten with this card. I think it still needs dots before I photograph it, though. You're the most sawsome. Oh, get it with the saws. Dad loved it, can I say? Alexis, if you're watching. Oh, and if you don't have a guy that you want to send Father's Day or Dad to, this stamp set also has nuts and bolts that you can stamp across the card base, and I'll show that as well when we put this class together. So you can use the nuts and bolts and then do the You're the Most Awesome and give it to somebody else. And this one, if you don't have a Happy Father's Day person to send to, you could put a thank you on. So this mixes and matches really well. So you'll learn how to make the chest, and we'll do another one of these pop lock cards, Gate Pop Lock cards, and these all came out of the Designer Series paper, but if you own the dies do cut the Designer Series paper, which is not available anymore, but I have 22 packs to go with this class. Look, I put a white one here to finish the tool, and then 3 more dots, and then winked them. You can get away with Wink Estella on tools because it looks like chrome. Just saying, chrome. But yeah, I love this. Oh, and the best part, when you open this one, look at. My husband literally gasped when he opened this one. He's like, I love that on the inside. What a nice touch. So that's another Gate Pop Lock card. And I've done all the die cutting for you, so, and the embossing. The big thing you'll have to do is cut your own designer paper. And I cut all these by hand, but I could have used my dies. I just I like to fussy cut. This one comes from the side of the paper, the part that you'd be throwing away. So under here is the line where where it would be cut off. I love them. I had a lot of fun. So these are going to be limited to 22 because I have 22 packs of paper. And when you're done, you'd be able to make at least double because I only used half the pack to design. And that's all for 45. A full pack of designer paper, dots. It includes the $10 for shipping. So it's really a $35 class with shipping. But I just wanted to do something extra. All right. So I think that that's it for this morning. This is a video that I've been wanting to do all week, and I just couldn't because of club. So you can expect to see me live for my free on the fly on Tuesday again. Hang on, let's flip. Look and see if there's any questions. Whoop. Caught me with my new glasses. Once you start wearing readers, you can't do without them. I didn't know that. So now I have to have readers to do everything. But I don't see any questions. If you guys did have questions, let me know. I can cover them on Tuesday again. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. So the gatefold, and then with the pop lock feature. Pretty cool, huh? So I'll post some of these again this week. And if you're joining me on the 30-day card challenge, dig into all those cards that you've made and start mailing them out. It's been a good challenge, and it's been good for me to just even mail a card to my mom or mail a card to someone who's like going through treatment or having a hard time. It's the things that you want to do with all these cards that you might forget to do. So anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And watch for that Tool Time class. I haven't designed club for next month yet. So today, club video, Tool Time video, Tool Time directions. I'll be working all weekend again because I'm crazy like that. But I love what I do, so that's helpful. So anyway, I love you guys. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. I know it's rainy here, but I hope it's sunny where you are. Have a great day.